Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all honor, glory, and praises due to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakadash. Also want to give divine honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, who's teaching the truth and sincerity, and also who do well. Peace and salutations to the whole elect that scattered four corners of the earth, which you so-called Negroes, Latino, Hispanics, Native American Indians, the so-called true Israelites that's coming out the elect nation of Israel, that the Lord is dealing with, and the only other nation that he's dealing with. All right, only Israel. Okay, it's brother Yawanathan, out of the GMS Detroit camp, coming back at you with another lesson. And I'm gonna entitle this. It says, you have a problem with Paul's writing, then you have a problem with Yahweh Shai. All right, I just got done watching, the heads. They did a group video, that we're getting on, today's, the week's topics. And one thing that one of the heads brought out is that, a lot of the writings of Paul does condemn Alizé, or you never want to call him Gorilla Hebrew, and if you think about it, like you get into the book of Romans, Corinthians, so on and so forth, it ties into the condemnation that he's probably feeling. He's probably feeling the conviction in the spirit, man. And everything that's been exposed is the reason why you should follow Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, because if you don't, he's going to place judgment on you. And you gotta understand, what was the punishment in the ancient times? What was the punishments that was unforgivable? Committing adultery, murder, kidnapping, and one was false prophesying, false prophecy. Now, when the scriptures tell you that every scripture is profitable, but when you see this man, Sakari Alizé, he has a following. He's one of the most top favorite Israelite groups, because they still follow that worldly that worldly vibration. I'm not sure if they're over IUIC or IUIC is over Sakari, but nevertheless, you'll still see that worldly vibration. Okay? And there's a lot of things that's been coming out. Now you got the outer appearance that condemns him, because you can see it now. The Lord, let me grab it real quick. This is Samuel 16:7. 1 Samuel 16:7. It says, but the Lord saith unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not a man, seeth, for a man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. So, when you get into these scriptures, it's not the outward appearance, because that's where a lot of our people and people outside the gospel that's not of Israel will think, oh man, he's a good-looking man, he's a tall man, he got a nice suit. They might think the Lord's dealing with them. No, but it's the inward part. So when you get into the book of Ephesians, 4:22, and I wanted to make that the last point, but I guess it's coming out first. It talks about this. It says, this is Ephesians 4:22. It says that ye put off the concerning former conversation of the old man, which is corrupted according to deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. So it's basically your conversations is your conduct. Now, when you conduct yourself accordingly, to the scriptures, then you'll start to see some fruit on the outward appearance. Like your like you might see a brother, he might be rough, and he might still got ways, but he don't got no lineup. And one thing that you see so forth for an elder is that men really doesn't have long hair. Now, yes, there are men in GMS that has braids, but we're not all, easy, breezy, beautiful, cover guy, whatever. So you see that was one thing that stood out as a false prophet. Now in the book of Matthew and the book of Jude, there was going to be false prophets, and I believe in the book of Jude 1 and 18, it talks about it's going to be scoffers and mockers. And when you break that down in the Hebrew and the New Testament, in the New Testament, it's getting into false teachers. Okay? Now, if you are a true prophet, you'll be good, man. The Lord will still have you out here on the highways and byways, conducting yourself accordingly. All right? But, what the scriptures say, 1 Corinthians 14 and 40. And that just came up to my mind, too. Grab that one. First Corinthians 14 and 40, it says, "Let all things be done decently and in order." And I know in the last video I talked about, how you run your congregation. And this is just me talking about the books of Paul mostly now. Is like we're saying, when you had your Passover. I mean, yeah, the strip club do got some good lamb chops, but you're not supposed to be having them herbs and all that stuff on it. Enjoying yourself. When I said it, when I made the video prior, I told them it was sacred, solemn, and a serious assembly. When you in a strip club, you feeling good. You enjoying the lamb. Oh, the lamb tastes good. You seeing all these women out here, knowing that some of these women probably have men. And the thing is, you in that type of environment, you relaxed. In the time of the Passover, it was a time to be serious and to move in haste. All right. And then, like I said, we were talking about your hair, right? And then, and that's two on the top of the head. So this is 1 Corinthians 11. And 7. And it says, "For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is to imagine of the glory of Yahweh. But a woman's glory is a man." Let me see. Hold on, let me make sure I got that one. Got 14. Let's jump to 14. Salakia. No, actually, let's get back on this is the point, I'm sorry, with the long hair. So this is 1 Corinthians 11 and 14. It says, "Do not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, is it shame unto him?" And he asking the question, and the answer is yes. A man is not supposed to have long hair. Okay? And now this is the point where I was talking about. Now, when you see this individual, prophesying, he usually has like the little snapbacks or hat. So We'll start at Corinthians 11 and verse 4. And it says, every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head. And it says, for a man, now jumping to 7, for a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image of the glory of Yahweh,